So in this video, we're going to be trying to see if I can create a Chrome extension that will record audio from your microphone and keep it in some sort of file format where I'm able to like drop and drag it into a message. Now, the reason that I'm doing this is the Skool platform. It doesn't have the ability to record an audio clip and send it in a message. And so I thought it would be really neat if I would be able to try to create that with this. And again, I haven't tried this out. I don't know if it's going to work, but there's going to be probably some editing going on. You're not going to watch this thing I think that's a waste of video, but we'll go ahead and get started on this. And so what I have set up right now is just a blank slate. I don't have anything. And I'm just going to go ahead and type into my agent. And I made sure that I'm on this thing here called agent mode. I know my photo is blocking it here, but we can definitely put some text in here and go ahead and have it create something. So I'm going to go ahead and voice text this, and that way it might go a little bit quicker. So let's go ahead and try this out. I would like you to create me a Chrome extension that would allow somebody to record audio from their microphone and be able to save that in some sort of local file, maybe in storage. And that way we're not having to create any login or sign up. Everything is stored locally on their computer. And we're going to be able from the extension to drag the file and move it into a chat box that is draggable in our message box. This is for the Skool platform, and I have a blank file folder set up for this. I have not created any file so far. I went ahead and voiced that in here, and let's see what it kind of creates for us. So I'm going to go ahead and pause while it's thinking here. All right, so it looks like it's already creating the manifest here. And I know that we're going to get some sort of error because we don't have any kind of icons put in here. And so I'm probably going to have it remove those a little later. So now it looks like we have the pop-up HTML showing up, which is good. And then we also have the pop-up CSS. And again, I can take a look at this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and click my Go Live button that I know you can't see on here. Maybe I'll bring that up. But I have a little Go Live button here. I'm going to click. Going live, this is what we're looking at here. Looks like we have a record button. We have a stop button, a delete button, and then looks like maybe some sort of space here for the saved recordings. Let's go ahead and go back to the code and see what it did. So it looks like we have some JavaScript filings in here, some basic DOM manipulation of what's going on. We still got some thinking going on down here. And then it looks like we have some content CSS. And then it looks like this is for the draggable portion. And then the content.js. And I'm assuming this is going to be, if we take a look at the HTML file, maybe there's where we have that content that it creates for the saved recordings. And maybe that's the file that they decided to separate out. Generated icons. I don't know what they have here for it, but maybe this is, we'll see what's going on with this one here. So it looks like it has the ability to create these icons here for us, I believe. And now it's asking me to allow it to have terminal access. I'm going to go ahead and hit allow, and it's going to run some sort of script, and it looks like it needs to install a certain command here for it to run. Let's go ahead and allow this. And now we're going to be running the Python script in order to, it looks like, generate the icons. Looks like it ran into some issues creating it. So we're going to go with the node. To now it is updating the manifest to utilize the SVG icons. And now it's verifying the icons exist. and it's going to give me a summary of what it all did. So now it is done. It says, let's go ahead and create the startup guide. Okay, let's go ahead and allow this. All right, and it's still thinking. All right, it says that excellent, everything is in its place. Let me create one final welcome message file. So we created a lot of files in here, and it even added some really good artistic work here talking about the flow of everything. Like I said, we can see if this works. It does say for the quick start here, it just gives us a real brief overview of every single thing that is on here, and also a way for us to load if we didn't know how to do this to begin with. It does tell us that when we first click on the extension icon and we try to record, Chrome's going to ask for microphone permissions. We just need to allow that. We can go ahead and test it out, click the record, say something, click the stop, and then it should click, or we should be able to click save recording. And then we can go to the Skool page and the messages and maybe even drop and drag the saved recording into the chat box or the upload area. So we'll see if this does in fact work. And like I said, I know that we have a lot of files on here that may not be totally necessary. And once we validate that it does work, we can ask uh, the agent for a way for us to clean this up or create a new folder and move everything over to a folder that would be used for the Chrome extension. But for now, I'm just going to try to upload this entire thing because that's what it gave me and see if it works. So let me pause the video and go to the Chrome extension browser. So I am in the Chrome extensions here. I got the development mode toggled on that you can see right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and load Unpacked. Let me go ahead and navigate to the right section here. I'm in the right section here. I'm going to go ahead and hit the select button, and it looks like it was loaded just fine. Now we can go ahead and click on here, and it looks like it's right here. And there's our little voice recorder. So now we can go ahead and try this out. So I'm going to go ahead and test it out here. So this little message popped up. It says, could not access your microphone. Please grant permissions on there. Oh, we got that error message. And I think what I would like to do is go back to the agent and ask it to create some sort of setting on there that it can validate and verify that the microphone can be used. So let's go ahead and go back to the code. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and speak to it here. I ended up getting the microphone error message, and I'm going to paste the error here. And I would like to have the ability to maybe have some sort of setting on here that would automatically populate that shows that permissions were given as well as the microphone was selected. Now you can see here, I did get the error message, and I'm just going to go ahead and grab this error and copy it and put it in the context of the agent. So I just pasted it there, and let's go ahead and run this and see what it says. So it looks like it found the file that it needed, and it will provide some better error handling and get a permission status. So that's kind of cool. So while it is working here, let's go back to the browser and take a look at the voice recorder here. So it looks like we got this nice little error. I don't know if it's going to allow us to do that here. There we go, refresh devices, and let me choose my microphone, and hey, we're getting some levels. That's really good. And then we'll go ahead and allow. Looks like it's been granted. Okay, go ahead and close that. So it looks like this little error message still stays and persists. Oh, there we go. Ready to record. Okay, so let's take a look back at the code because it looks like it's still changing things. And like any good agent does, it looks like it added a lot more lines for us, but maybe a majority of that is in the setup. I'm going to pause the video here and we'll see what happens once it's done thinking. Looks like it is wrapping up, with everything that it did and gave me a lot more files. So anyways, like I said, maybe at the end we'll go ahead and ask it to not have so many. Okay, let's go ahead and keep all of these and let's go ahead and test some stuff out. So now I'm going back to the browser and I'm going back to the extensions and then I'm going to go back here and refresh. Let's go ahead and, I don't have to load it again, but I can refresh it here and that way it is now reloaded. Coming up here, let's do the school voice message. So now we do get the following. Let's go ahead and test this out. So I get the microphone error, permission status. So it looks like I'm filling up with these errors and maybe I need to move to something else over here. Let me go ahead and move over to our school page here. Okay. Could not load microphone devices. Please check permissions. So in order to get that message to be removed, and again, maybe I can go back to the agent to kind of make this a little bit easier, is to view web permissions. And this is where we can go ahead and allow the microphone for this. So like I said, I'm going to try to troubleshoot that to make that a whole heck of a lot easier. But now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead and try the recording aspect of it. And so I'm just going to come here and try this out. And then I'm going to try to record because it looks like my Ecamm live virtual mic, which is what I'm using right now. It looks like we can even test this out maybe. Testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. It says no audio detected. Okay, let's try another one. And that is going to be my XLR. Testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3, no audio detected. So that might be a problem here, but we're going to go ahead and try to record. Testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3, testing, testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3, testing. So it looks like it did work. Interesting that the test microphone didn't work. We're going to go ahead and save the recording here. And it looks like I do have drop and drag capability. And so I'm going to test this out here. And let me go ahead and see if my drop and drag works. So I'm going to go ahead and do my Skool and drop and drag. That did not work. So anyways, back to the drawing board. And now this is all about programming here. Is like whenever you're dealing with the AI agent, you don't want to give them two problems at the same time. You want to give it only one problem at a time. And so the first one is the microphones. It's not picking up when we do the test. And then the other one is going to be the drop and drag feature. The dragging is working, but the box that is accepting that drop and drag is not thinking that it is an actual file to be dragged into. So that's the secondary problem. But I'm going to figure out the secondary one first because I feel like that's more important for this video. All right, so I'm back in the code and I did do off camera here. I did do a real quick test on, hey, let me go ahead and download the file and then drop and drag it that way. And that seemed to work just fine, no problem. So that's what I'm going to talk to this chat bot about in my explanation. So after recording, I am able to drag the recording and move it into Skool platform. The problem that I'm running into is it seems like Skool is not detecting that it is of a file type that could be draggable in there as far as uploading goes. Now, I did do a test where I downloaded the audio and saved it on my computer and dragged that file into the Skool Dropbox. It worked fine. Please help. Let's see if this works. All right, so now it says the issue is it's not transferring the file data. It's just transferring the recording ID during the actual drag. So let's see if that works. Now, something else that I did off screen here is once you get a working solution, and I tell this to everybody, is you want to go ahead and, you know, save it, right? Meaning when I say save it, like you want to version control it, you know, create a repository on your computer. It's a little save point. So that's what I ended up doing off camera. And if this works, then I'm going to create another save point and fix the next issue. Because the reason that you want to create those save points is because if you have a working app and then all of a sudden your agent kind of destroys everything, it's really easy to revert back to what you currently had working. So that is my working theory on that. So it's still thinking. I'm going to go ahead and pause and return when it's done. Lots of changes and more and more files are being created here that might not necessarily be needed at the final exit of this. So it said that it found the issue. Like I said, that the key changes, the drop and drag now creates an actual file object and the proper metadata correct with the file name and the WebDM extension. Let's go ahead and refresh this extension in our browser. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and reload this one. Looks like it is reloaded. Next is, let's go over here. I'm going to refresh just in case the Chrome extension didn't refresh. And I still have this recording from previous. And now it looks like I'm able to drag this in here like I was before. And it is still not uploading. So, like I said, it looks like it's going to take me a few back and forths in order for me to resolve this. I think my next step that I'm going to do with troubleshooting this is maybe have some console logs to make sure that, hey, this is in fact coming over properly. I don't know if I need to refresh this on this page. I don't think I do. But anyways, yeah, that is definitely not working. But if I were to take that file itself and download it and physically drag it over, it works no problem. So back to the drawing board to see if it can put something in the console for us. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell it exactly what we were just talking about. So the drop and drag is still not working, and I was wondering if you could put in some console logging so we can test out on why is this not working, and that way I can come back to you and we can figure these things out from the console test. All right, so it looks like it is done here. And now we're going to go ahead and keep everything. And now it's time to reload and test. So coming over here, reloading it. Looks like it was reloaded. And then we can come over here. I'm going to refresh just in case. Click on this and let's go ahead and try to see if we're able to drag this over. Okay, so it looks like we got the following: up target not valid for file upload. I'm going to copy all this and report back to it. So now we can come back to Google or to Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to say the following. Here is the following console logs when trying to drag a saved recording. I'm just going to paste that in there and see what it says. So it says that the drop is being detected, but the target validation is rejecting. And it says the drop target with the class name of the following has a file drop zone of null. It's not recognizing a valid drop zone in the class name. So let me check the validation logic and fix it. It says it found the bug. The validation is checking. And the school zone drop zone has a style selector and it won't match the drop zone. So it fixed the validation issue. The problem was the class. Here we go. Let's go ahead and reload this. I'm going to keep everything. And I am interested in seeing what it kind of changed here. Okay, let's go ahead and keep everything. And let's go ahead and give it a try now. So of course we want to reload the extension. There we go. Next is I'm going to refresh just in case. I'm going to open up the message and I'm going to see if this works. Okay. So we're still getting the error message. So I'm going to copy this and paste it again. So as you can see, it is a constant cycle going back and forth, especially if you are doing this with a vibe coding experience. So I'm getting the following console logs, and it's still not allowing the target is not accepting the file. All right, let's see what it says next. So it says that it's taking a totally different approach and it's removing the drop and drag aspect. And it looks like it says that it added a button that says insert into Skool or insert to Skool. I don't know what this looks like. Let's take a look at it. And I believe that this is it. Maybe we need a recording on here first in order for it to show up. So let me go back to the extensions here. Let's refresh. There we go. Okay, we got the 1.2.0. And now I can refresh this and let's look at what we got. So we have this thing here called insert into Skool. So I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see. There it goes. It did insert it. So it looks like it did fix the issue. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this, and then I'm going to test it out. Again, I don't know if it's going to work for the specific message. So let's go to Katrina here, my mod, and I'm going to add it here and see where it puts it. And so it looks like it's looking for a drag and drop area for it to kind of insert it in there for us. So anyways, I'm going to send this to her and see if it works on her end. I mean, obviously I can test it on my end. So there's a test audio from my vibe coded extension. So let's see if it does play. Hey, this is just another test, and then we'll try and see if this one works as well. All right, so it looks like it does work with that. So anyways, we didn't get the drop and drag to work, but we did end up getting some sort of solution, and it looks like there's some sort of security issues. I might do some research on this to see why can't I drop and drag from a Chrome extension, and maybe there's some sort of permissions that I could potentially give. I don't know, but we'll take a look at that. Hey, thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you next time.